Hello, and welcome to the first unit of this introductory course on Python 3. I'm Rafael Ubal with Computer Science Camp, and I'll be your instructor in this course. We'll use this first lesson to introduce our live programming environment. First, I'll show you what it looks like to see a Python program executing, and how you, as a user of your own program, can interact with it. Then, I'll introduce our interactive code editor, which you'll use to write and run your first Python program. One that simply prints a greeting message on the screen. Let's get started. All programs presented in this course will use a very simple user interface based on what we call a console or terminal interchangeably. A console is a simple visual framework that allows you to communicate with a running Python program using a text-based window as an output and the keyboard as an input. When a Python program produces output messages, they are displayed in the console, always in a sequential order. This means that the cursor only moves forward, and nothing that was previously written into the console is later erased, as shown in this example. When a Python program needs to read information from the user, the cursor stops. At this time, you may use the keyboard to enter characters, and may even use the backspace key to correct typos. Once the input is ready, pressing Enter sends it to the program, and allows it to continue executing. Once a given input text is submitted, it can no longer be erased from the console. It is now a permanent part of the program execution history. Let's look at another example. What you're about to see is an example of a Python program, which pretty soon you'll be able to fully write yourself. This program asks the user to enter an integer number. The program then tells the user whether the entered number is a prime number or not. As you can see, the program first prints an output message describing its functionality, and then asks the user to enter a number. At this time, the cursor stops as the program waits for the user to enter the requested number. Let's assume the user enters number 7 and presses Enter. That input is sent to the program, which resumes its execution by computing whether 7 is a prime number. Once the program determines that 7 is indeed a prime number, it prints one last message showing the result to the user. From what you've seen so far, you may realize that a console is a rather primitive method for human-machine interaction. And you're right, this execution framework does not allow you to interact with your program through dialog windows, graphic menus, mouse clicks, and so on. Instead, we're limited to a basic text output and keyboard-based input. In spite of these limitations, a console-based user interface is ideal for our purposes, as it allows us to focus on the program computations, rather than the user interface itself. This framework will be suitable to demonstrate and exercise all concepts introduced in this course. Without further ado, let's start with writing our first Python program. If you're watching this video on our teaching platform, start by identifying the code editor on the main lesson page right under the video player. If this is your first time using this tool, the code editor displays a welcome screen with this layout. Let's begin by creating our first Python project. Click on the Create Project button, enter hello-world as the name of the project, and press Enter or click on the Create Project button in the dialog window. Feel free to pause the video at any time if you need a few more seconds to complete each step. After the project is created, the code editor adopts a new project view. This view includes the current project name on the top left, a toolbar with action buttons on the top right, and a set of tabs with all project files below. The project is automatically created with one single file named main.py, initially empty, where we can start typing our first Python program. If you enjoyed this content, you may watch the rest of this lesson at computersciencecamp.com, linked in the description below. You'll be able to follow along with coding samples and problems in our embedded code editor. Drop your questions in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to help support the channel. Thank you, and happy coding!